Welcome back, everyone, to 40k Lore with Ludus Infinium and my alternate Heresy ramblings, I guess we'll call it. So this realistically is just me pulling just off of my lore knowledge to assign where I think the loyal Space Marines would be if they switch places with the traitors. So let's get on with video number 4. Tzeentch's new Let's Screw With Everyone group. I had an interesting... I was split between this one because I really wanted to give it to... I really wanted to give each Chaos God 2 legions to choose from. You know, with Khorne, it was the White Scars and the Space Wolves. Slaanesh was really the Ultramarines and the Space Wolves. And Nurgle was the Iron Hands and the Imperial Fists. So now we get to Tzeentch. And there he was, aboard his command ship, looking out into space. Not knowing which tally was greater, the kills he had of quote-unquote loyal brothers who still followed their foolish father the Emperor, or kills of brothers who had sided with their new war master. Well, new. With the war master of this timeline, and turned against their father for the sake of saving humanity and the Imperium. He didn't know truly which side he had killed more from, only that he had pledged his allegiance to his brother, the War Master. And then he turned and looked to his sons before him. And interestingly enough, this is what they would be in canonical 40k. We're just going to speed it up to they're now there in 30k. And with a smile on his face, Lionel Johnson readied his men. Yes, folks, between the Raven Guard and the Dark Angels, I gave it to the Dark Angels. I'm going to explain why. I had a lot of thinking to do on this one. Because realistically, I was honestly originally going to give it to the Raven Guard. Because they can do that stupid cloaking bullshit they do with psychic powers. And I was like, So they have a Librarius that specializes in concealing themselves and their minds from others. Well, that sounds like just a dandy thing, doesn't it? Then I looked up the Dark Angels Librarius, and they specializes in fucking torture. So that, coupled with the fact of 40k Dark Angels, bear a striking resemblance to the Alpha Legion in the fact that you don't know which one's loyal and which one's traitor, because they have kill counts on both sides that are astronomical, to put mildly. So I decided overall it had to go to the Dark Angels just because they eked it out by a little bit, just in the fact of their Librarius not only specialized in torture, but specialized in getting into the minds of others. And yeah, the Raven Guard could specialize in cloaking, which would have been a really interesting Tzeentch boon, and I do think they would tend to favor Tzeentch. However, I think the one that best exemplifies Tzeentchian corruption, or at least who could best exemplify Tzeentchian corruption, would be the Dark Angels. So, what would they look like? Well, they would look like the Dark Angels at the Siege of Rax. Let's just be fucking clear here. They would come in, help without, being asked to. And then they would commit as much collateral damage as possible, knowing full well that it would probably end up hurting their allies, granted to no aid of their enemy as well, for one measly little objective that could be so obscure it really doesn't matter, and then fuck off. Here's the difference. the Dark Angels of 40k do have an objective to collect all the Fallen and essentially give them a death that they won't forget. Because the way the souls live on in the warp, it'll remember. This is how I think the Dark Angels would be. I don't think there would be a Fallen, because if they all fall to Chaos, there wouldn't be that massive split. However, here's where I think it gets a little different. I do think they would have the same attitude as far as going in for obscure objectives that maybe not only they know about realistically. But it's for a greater objective, for Lionel Johnson's objective, for Tzeentch's objective. So when I say that, realistically, I mean... Okay. You have this sergeant who drops a bunch of big-ass steel ball bearings. And he drops them down a corridor. Well, later on, a captain sees this and decides, this will be a funny prank to pull. I'm going to put some spikes on the end of it. And then, well, at least put some spikes behind it, so when someone trips, they'll fall into the spikes. Well, then you have Lionel Johnson come through with someone who maybe, in the back of his mind, he doesn't really trust them. But he wouldn't actively do anything against them. It's just something in the back of his mind. And he just barely nudges them onto the ball bearings so they fall into the spikes and die. All because Tzeentch knew that person would eat a pretzel one day or some stupid shit like Tzeentch normally does. I mean, to be fair, my favorite canonical traitor legion fell to Tzeentch, being the Thousand Sons. But Tzeentch makes no fucking sense. Tzeentch is the best and worst... what's the word here? What's the word? Where you can really put him in a story to... For any reason, honestly. It's not really like a Gary Stu thing. It's something like... it's something like he's a good tool to use when you want to put something in there for just fucking no reason. Because he makes no damn sense. And this is why I think that the Dark Angels would be better for Tzeentch than the Raven Guard, because them corrupted, they would personify that so perfectly. Them loyal personifies that almost perfectly. So it really comes down to speeding up that process from taking them to 30k Dark Angels to 40k Dark Angels, and at the same time making Lionel Johnson kind of the same way. He gets really dark and really, not brooding, but very distrustful of everyone, to the point where he thinks everyone's plotting against him, so he plots against everyone. They become a combination of the Alpha Legion and cracked up assassins. I don't know any other way to word it. I mean, realistically, that's kind of what they are now, which is why I'm finding this, probably going to be a shorter video like the Nurgle one. But all I really have to say is they would be 40k Dark Angels, just with Lionel Johnson acting the same way. I don't know really what to add on to that. It's actually kind of funny to me. Which leaves, of course, one last legion that I have not talked about. And the position of War Master, which I think it's pretty obvious who I've given this to at this point. So I will announce in this video that the position of War Master has gone to Sanguinius. And his legion of Blood Angels to be that of the Luna Wolves canonically. So I believe that was most fitting. Now, there was an argument for Khorne and Tzeentch for the Blood Angels. Khorne because of the Red Thirst and the Black Death, and Tzeentch because 3 legions created the Librarius. The The two primary ones were the Thousand Sons and the Blood Angels. The third one was the White Scars and Jagatai Khan. So, having that big of a librarious, what's the word I'm looking for here? Presence. I could see giving it to Tzeentch also with the Psychers and the constant fucking with people. The Lamenters are a target of Tzeentch. Let's just get that out of the way here. So with the the Blood Angels being a potential target for Tzeentch, especially that could be the thing that corrupts them, is Tzeentch using these curses that are almost definitely derived from corn. Using those to kind of mess with their minds, that could be a very easy way for the Blood Angels to fall. That being said, I think because of his relationship with all of his brothers, with the way he leads, the honor that he holds, the Sanguinius would hold a lot of similarities to Horus. He would make it off as he is trying to save the Empire, or excuse me, the Imperium. He is trying to he's trying to right the wrongs that his father is committing by just using his sons. And again, this is also assuming a complete flip. And it starts off on, I don't really want to say like good intentions, because that's not really what it is. It's just getting tricked into believing that. But he gets tricked into believing he's doing this for the right reason, and eventually along that road just gets damned. So that's why Sanguinius is the War Master, and I will talk about that in his own video next week, more in depth. But realistically speaking, as far as Tzeentch is concerned, it's just going to the Dark Angels, because, I mean, let's face it, they pretty much already are in 40k currently. They act exactly like the Alpha Legion, just quote-unquote loyal. They have no qualms about killing other loyalist factions as long as it gets to their, as long as they get to their objective. So, realistically speaking, no, they would be what the Alpha Legion is now. Which is what they are now. See, this is why I don't like doing the Dark Angels. But yeah, and so other people I considered for War Master, though. Well, no, I'll do that in the War Master video. And the reason I'm kind of like trying to keep that away is because I don't want this video to become both things. And it's one of those things where I do want that to be all in its own video. But at the same time, this one, I don't have much more to say about the Dark Angels. But, yeah. So, the fact that they torture and get into people's minds with psychic powers, and the fact that their loyalties are completely unknown, and that it's all for their own planning, they really do personify most of the tenets of Tzeentch right there. So, there you have it, I guess. The Tzeentchian unknowns, I guess we'll call them, the Dark Angels. I hope you're enjoying the series. As I said, next episode will be, of course, discussing the War Master and other choices I was looking at for War Master. Then after that, I'm going to start try and alternate videos, primarily based on continuing my Primarch series, and at the same time, I'm going to alternate that with this series, which I'll go into like little changes in the lore to make it so how this alternate heresy came about. But I might also throw a 40k rant in there every so often, just to kind of realistically, they're there just to take a week off. So, yeah. I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, let me know in the comments. Let me know some of the things you might like to see changed, or some of the questions that y'all have, and I will definitely try and answer them. But that being said, again, I hope you're all enjoying the series. And most importantly of all, I hope you all have a very wonderful day. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.